Namaste, this is Swami Prabodhananda, the General Secretary of International Vedanta Society. I'm sorry that I'm 7 minutes late because my internet was not working. There's something wrong with the internet connection in Varanasi for some time, That is why we are having this connectivity problems, and some of our classes, they're getting cancelled because of this connectivity. Yesterday I could not do this class because I was very tired, and the whole day was like people in the ashram, and we had this Kali Puja, monthly Kali Puja in the evening, so there were also like people, and because there was this eclipse which was just going to happen after some time, and in Varanasi we have a lot of dynamics regarding this eclipse. It starts like 8 hours before, and many things, so we have to manage all these things. So it was difficult for us to come live yesterday. Today also, from the very from the morning, there are a lot of activities. People started to come into the ashram in the morning. From the morning we had this beautiful session of like 5 hours of chanting this mantras, Maha Mantra, Gayatri Mantra, and all this. And then one after the other, then then two people, they received initiation from this ashram. So this was a very productive day, and today while I was coming to give this class, I was already feeling tired, so I thought that maybe today also I could not give the class, but then I decided I should, because it's already been published. So here I am. Thank you very much for your support and for your interest in Bhagavad Gita. I get your letters, I get your messages, and some of them I respond. And there's one particular message by one of our devotees of Bhagavan, who says that since her coming into the spiritual path and practicing spirituality and practicing this restraint of mind, as well as of all the emotions, that is not getting angry, not shouting at people, not behaving the way she used to behave before. So this also has created some kind of inconvenience in her day-to-day life. That is, there are people who have started to take her taken for granted. People don't respect her, and people take advantage of her good behavior, of her humility. This is something which is very natural. This is something which is going to happen, and knowing this, you should come to spirituality. But this is not like this is not going to be this is not going to last long. Like, though we restrain from being angry, or though we restrain from being we don't react into certain situations, but in our mind, we have not attained that state where we are completely unattached with everything that is happening around us. So though we don't react, but within our mind there is a reaction, there's a very strong reaction, and we also think about that, and we also get disturbed. And this is the reason why this kind of situation will come again and again. So you cannot get rid of that. This is just what Bhagavad Gita was saying in one of our in the last verses that we have discussed. One of them was like this, that niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasapyasya param drashtva nivartate. What was that one? It was saying that one, yada sangrayat chayam kurmangani iva sarvasha indriyani indriyatyabhas tasya pratika pratishtha vishaya vinirvartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasapyasya param drashtva nivartate. So we had already discussed this, that though we are separated from the external activities, in this case external activities, external disturbance, what it had actually discussed was this, that when your senses get disconnected with the sense objects, though they get disconnected with the sense objects, there is this mind which enjoys those sense objects in the mental plane. So though you think that you are unattached from those sense objects or the external world, you think that you are unattached from the external world, but in the mental level you are attached to that, and that is why these incidents they keep coming again and again. Once we can restrain ourselves in such a way where there is no reaction at all. Whatever happens in the external world, there is no vibration within my internal world. Okay, so when this happens, like in the last part of the second chapter, while Krishna was describing about this enlightened soul, then he said, Apuryamanam achalam pratishtham samudra mapa pravishyanti yadvad tadvad kama yam pravishyanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. So, okay, I am going to speak a little bit, slower. Sorry. So, the thing that was discussed, there was Apurya Manam Achalam Pratishtham Samudra Mapa Pravishyanti Yadvad Tadvad Kama Yam Pravishyanti Sarve Sa Shanti Mapnoti Na Kama Kami. So, till we come to this part of the teachings of Lord Krishna, till then there will be disturbances in the external world. Though we don't react, though we don't behave the way we used to behave before, but because we are in our internal world we are all agitated. That is why these they attract these incidences, and this will keep on going. But we have to practice this that he had said just now. Apurya manam achalam pratishtham samudra mapa pravishyanti yadvad. It says that have you seen an ocean? In an ocean, just imagine that there are rivers which comes to the ocean from various directions. So there's this ocean and there's rivers, many rivers which comes and meets the ocean, from various directions. So these rivers, they also bring water with them, but these water does not cause any difference in the level of the ocean water. That is, the amount of water that these rivers brings into the ocean does not get disturbed. The ocean is all the same. Okay? And then he says that an enlightened soul is just like that. How it is that? Tadvat kama yam pravishyanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. He says that, in the same way, all these desires which comes pouring within our mind from different directions, when these desires comes and pours into our mind from different directions, in that state, when my mind is not at all disturbed, when it's not at all disturbed, it's all the same. Without desires, and with desires, the mind is all the same. So if this is the condition, then we can say that we have attained the state of yoga, and our wisdom is steadfast. So in the practical field, we can say that whatever happens in the external world, when I am not reacting to that, I am restraining from reacting in the events of the external world, but within my mind there is a reaction, there's agitation, there's anger, there's a sense of vengeance. I have to take revenge. But even if the mind says this, because you are not the mind can react the way it wants to, but you should not get perturbed at all. Though your mind can react in any way, you should always be quite calm. You should always be calm, undisturbed, knowing that my mind can react, but I am not the mind. So because I am not the mind, so I should not fall into these garbages that the mind brings to me. So if you can remain undisturbed in this way, then whatever is going to happen in the external world, they are not going to disturb you, and at one point you will see that this will stop happening. This will not happen. So this is good. This is good that you are in the process. You are in the process. You are moving in the right direction, and you have stopped to react in the events, in the unpleasant, unpleasant events of this world. It's good. This is a development, but you have to extend that development up to that point where whatever happens and however your mind reacts, they do not create any ripples within you. They, when I say they do not create any ripples within you, it means they do not create any ripples in the calmness, in the stillness, in the silence, in the peace, in the bliss that you are experiencing. Don't give up peace, don't give up bliss for these very trivial aspects of life. Life is much more important. Life is much more important. Life is much more beautiful. Life is much more valuable than all these very trivial things which happens in the external world. Just ignore them and train the mind. Ignore that also. Once you ignore that, that is the only way that you can go to get rid of that. One time while I was speaking, about this Bhagavad Gita, I told you about these monkeys of Brindavan. This is a very classical example, If anybody has gone to Brindavan, have ever visited Brindavan, you will see, how terrible the monkeys of Brindavan are. So you go to Brindavan and you see these monkeys, they are all set, ready to attack. If you have glasses, they will come and take away your glasses. If you have something in your hands, they will come and take away everything that you carry in your hands. So while you go to certain places, like there is one place called Nidhuban. So when you go to Nidhuban, people tell you, hey, put your glasses in your pocket. Put everything that you have in your pocket in the bag, so that the monkeys does not come and take away things. But though you have put your glasses and your belongings into your pocket or your bag, there are these monkeys which are very wild. They seem to be very wild, and they seem to attack you. They are very scary. You move in this, you walk in this path of Nidhuban, and you see that these monkeys are sitting here and there, fighting among each other or looking at you in certain way that they are going to attack you now. So how to get rid of them? The only way is not to look into their eyes. Let them do whatever they want to. Let them do whatever they want to. Just don't, make any eye contact. You just go in your direction, and even if you pass nearby them, they are not going to attack you, because you are not interested in them or in their activities. So till you are interested in the activities of the external world, either by outsider attention or internally from the mind. You are not paying attention to what they say in front of them, but maybe in the back you are trying to listen what they're saying or what they're doing. You are trying to determine what they're doing. So till you have this tendency you have to be rest assured that you are going to be disturbed. But once you train yourself, this way, that you can ignore everything that is happening around you, which is unpleasant, which creates vibrations within your mind. If you can train your mind in that way, you will see that though things are happening, you are not disturbed, and after some time things will stop happening. This is a very very beautiful way of dealing with the situations. And I have to tell you one thing. Today we have this internet connection which is really terrible. I could not connect from the laptop. Now I'm giving classes from this internet, from my mobile, and the mobile says that there is this 50% has